Shalom Aleichem, Na'aleh viewers. Welcome to another Shir in Maseches Brachos. We're continuing in Maseches Brachos on Daf Tezayin Amud Aleph, the Mishnah. Daf Tezayin Amud Aleph. The Mishnah states as follows: Ha'omnin kairin b'roisha ilon u'b'roisha nidbach. Professional workers that are engaged in their labor, they are permitted, the Mishnah states, to recite Kriat Shma while standing in a tree, the top of a tree, u'b'roisha nidbach, or on top of a wall of a building that they're constructing. Masha'enon rishayin lasses kain b'tfilah, states the Mishnah, this is a special heter, a special din that applies to Kriat Shma, that a worker who is in the midst of his work, he woke up early in the morning to start working in construction, or he's working with electric lines, let's say, and he's standing on a treetop, he's permitted to recite the Shema on the treetop or on top of the wall in the midst of his work. He can take a break and recite Kriat Shma right there. He does not have to go down to the ground. However, the Mishnah states this is a heter that applies only to Kriat Shma. Masha'enon rishayin lasses kain b'tfilah. But this halacha does not apply to davening Shemona Esrei. When it comes to davening Shemona Esrei, as we'll see in the Gemara, the halacha is the workers must go down to the earth and recite the Shemona Esrei standing on the ground. That's the first halacha in the Mishnah. Rashi comments on that din. Ha'omnin, says Rashi, shehem asukim b'malachton b'roisha ilon oy b'roisha nidbach. If you have a worker who's engaged in his work, and his work requires him to stand on the top of a tree, on a treetop, or on top of a wall, v'yigia zman Kriat Shma, and the time to recite Shema arrived, kairin l'sham miyad, they can read Shema in that location immediately. But the Mishnah says that halacha applies specifically to Kriat Shma, and it does not apply to Tefillah, to Shemona Esrei. We'll see in Rashi in the Gemara what's the distinction between the Shema and the Shemona Esrei. Why does this heter apply? Why does this halacha apply specifically to Kriat Shma? The Mishnah goes on with a second halacha. States the Mishnah, Chasan pater mikriat Shma laila rishayna va'ad moitzai Shabbos im lo yasa ma'isa. The Mishnah says that a chasan, a newlywed who just got married, a groom who just got married, is exempt from reciting Kriat Shma on the night of his wedding, on the first night when he's about to perform the bias mitzvah, until Motzei Shabbos, if he hasn't yet had bia. He's parted from reciting Kriat Shma. The Mishnah goes on and says, Umaisa b'Rebbe Gamliel. An incident though occurred with Rebbe Gamliel. Shenasa Isha, that Rebbe Gamliel got married. V'kara Laila Rishayna, and he recited Kriat Shma the first night, the night of his wedding, even though he had a mitzvah of bias mitzvah, of having relations for the first time with his wife. Nevertheless, Rebbe Gamliel recited the Shema, even though there was another mitzvah that was incumbent upon him at the time, and therefore he should be exempt from reciting Kriat Shma. The Mishnah states that Rebbe Gamliel nevertheless went ahead and recited the Shema. Says the Mishnah, Amru Loi Talmidov, the students of Rebbe Gamliel asked Rebbe Gamliel, Limadetanu Rabbeinu, didn't you already teach us shechasan pater mikriat Shma? Haven't you already taught us the halacha that a chasan, a groom, is exempt from reciting the Shema on the night of his wedding, since he is obligated at the time in another mitzvah, in having bia, a bias mitzvah, so he's exempt from reciting Shema? Amar lahem, Rebbe Gamliel responded, Eini sheimei alachem levatel heimeni malchus shamayim afilu shah achas. I will not listen to you to even negate for 1 minute the obligation of Kabbalah so Malchus Shemayim, of accepting upon myself, the yoke of heaven, the recognition of the unity of Hashem, of the oneness of Hashem, and the obligation, responsibility of observing the mitzvahs of Kabbalah so Malchus Shemayim. Eini sheimei alochem levatel meni Malchus Shemayim afilu shoachas. I will not listen to refrain from Kabbalah so Malchus Shemayim even for one moment. That's the Mishnah. We'll learn together the Gemara, and then we'll go back to analyze a little bit some of the issues that need to be clarified here in this Mishnah. Rashi in the Mishnah comments, Masha'enon Rishayin Lasais Kain B'Tfilah.